All right, so I think I'm just going to get started. Get my stuff set up. This is a very informal. I don't have like PowerPoint set up or anything like that. All right, can you see everything?
Yes, we can.
Okay, and then feel free to chat throughout this as well. So this is more set up for like beginners and stuff like that. So, because drawing every day, I feel it's important for everybody to have a creative outlet. So by drawing every day, you not only get better at drawing, but you also get better at having some sort of an outlet to show your creativity. And as far as like your creative outlet goes, it doesn't have to be drawing, but that tends to be the easiest because everybody has a sheet of paper and a pencil in hand or a pen, whichever they choose. So as you can see on my Instagram, I've got quite a few sketches, more so sketches than daily or digital works. But I've been doing a lot more ink-based drawings for Inktober, which I'll go more into later. But when you're drawing daily, it's hard to do it, especially when you're drawing from imagination, because it takes a little bit more like mental, like a little bit more of a mental state to do something like that. So like with this one was all just a bunch of like little Halloween characters. And all of this was from imagination, right? So it's pretty cute and stuff like that. And then we've got some more characters that I did from imagination. And then these ones were actually based off of photos. So photos are great to like try out new techniques, learn more about shading and values, and then also a little bit about form. So what I tend to do the most of is drawing from life. So like this is from a camping trip that I did a couple weeks ago. So like you can see, those are my friend's boots in her bag right there. We've got the tent right there. So it's also more like a diary of sorts. Like this is what I experienced and what I decided to draw. You also have the scenic or the scenery that I saw. So a tree over a river. Can't really tell that it's a river though. But you've also got this stump that went over another drawing. So when it comes to sketchbooks, you have that freedom to go over other drawings that you've done. And it just like allows you to play around a little bit more and just try different things out. Yeah, this one was actually when I went to the beach. So I've also been playing a lot of Uno lately. So you see the Uno cards falling down, and then you see my feet on the sand. It's a couple waves. There was a bird standing on one of the, whatever these things are called, where they let people know how far to swim out. So there's my feet, so you could see. And then there's that. And yep, and then there's the tent, which I ended up having to draw from this photo because during the trip I didn't have enough time to do it. So like right here you see Marilyn Monroe. So this was from a photo, you see SpongeBob, but like these little pizza slices, that's all from life. So for daily drawing, it's important to be able to have quite a few different outlets to grab inspiration from, or to be able to just, if you just want to draw something, just to be able to see something and be willing to draw it. So what helps me out the most, yep, so these are from Frederick Meyer Garden, from the Zen Rocks. So the theme was Zen Garden, or no, it was garden. So I ended up choosing Zen Garden. So you see rocks in a Zen-like state. Yep. So there's the initial sketch that I did before I did that final one. And then this character right here was a statue from Frederick Meyer Garden that I ended up creating as a little character. And he's got a little pig that likes to play around with that little dumbbell thing. And like these are all from somewhere in Grand Rapids. I don't remember where. But you can just, when you're drawing from life, you can focus on what you want to draw. And then like this chicken was from a friend's Facebook photo. I just really liked the photo, so I ended up drawing it. And then this was one of the churches in Grand Rapids. So I found, besides drawing from life and just the random objects that are either within reach or like food, for example, because sometimes food can be a lot of fun to draw, I also rely on Facebook groups. So there's the daily drawing challenge. So what this group does, oh, I don't know why Messenger's up. So what this group does is John provides a photo every day for people to draw. So like you can just, when you go down, you can see, oh, this is another challenge from a few days ago. But you can just see how other people interpret the photo. So there's the photo that was up, I believe. Yep, that was one of my pages right there. So like you can see how John did his. He mostly focuses on graphite and watercolor compared to like how I interpreted the photo. So this is a fun beginner group if you want to get into daily drawing, because you just have a photo given to you and you can just draw it. Another good one, this is character a day challenge. So it looks like they have prompts up here. But like people just post because people want to be good at character design. They end up drawing a lot of characters and stuff like that, so they can just post their progress right up into here. You can see how other people like interpret a character design. You can also get ideas of what to draw, because I've done that before. So that's a pretty nice group. Now this one is Urban Sketchers. So what this group mainly focuses on is people take their sketchbooks, like either out in nature or in the city or something like that, and they just draw what they see in front of them. And as you can see, it's a lot of like just loose base drawings, and like you can always go into detail, but because you're drawing from life, it's better to keep a little bit more of a looser style. So like you can see somebody did this in ink and watercolor. And like people post up some of the photos and stuff like that. It's also pretty sweet to see some of the architecture where people live around the world. Okay, so this is Paint Prop. So what this one does is they provide a weekly prompt for you to draw. So this one's pretty nice if you want to spend a little bit more time on what you're drawing or painting. In this particular case, people do digital. There's also a lot of traditional stuff. And then there's also the Draw This community. I'm not too familiar with this community, but I am familiar with Draw This. So if you go to drawthis.com and sign up for their email, they'll actually send photos to you, quite a few photos that you can draw as well. So it's just to promote healthier habits, both on a daily level, but also like with your own artistic ability as well. One that I personally participate in is Inktober. So Inktober happens every year during the month of October. So that's why it's called Inktober. So they give you 31 prompts to do 31 drawings throughout the month. What I've started doing this year is Inktober 52, which is one drawing a week all year long. Being committed to this it does take some discipline, I will say that for sure. Thankfully, especially when it comes to inking, like your paper size, you can work on any size paper. So I've worked on sheets of paper that were about like, an inch both ways, an inch square. There's also the character design challenge. So this one's more like a monthly challenge. So with this one, excuse me, I got a cough. So with this one, they give you a theme. So like this month's is Animal Skate Park. And what you do is you can either spend the entire month or just like any time of the month to do characters that are centered around the theme. And this one's great if you're looking for like exposure and like a good portfolio piece. I don't know how well this would be for like just beginners, like people who want to build up that habit. Now for inspiration, there's the Today's Inspiration Facebook group. This one's really nice because you can view artwork from, I believe, 1970s and before. So you can see like how some people who work more on the traditional matter or mediums like have tackled issues, or how they did compositions and like tell a story through their works. It's pretty nice too. Like you can see like the comic book pages, a lot of different cover arts, and like some of the pinup styles or like Pulp Fiction covers. I don't know, it's just a really good way to like diverse the type of art that you see. So I really like this group. And then there's also the high resolution paintings. This one's a great one if you want to see more of like the masters paintings up close, because like people also do like master studies for their daily drawing exercises. But they've also got some more like recent stuff on here as well. So like people who have done paintings in like 2020 or like 2018 or something like that. And you can just like get a close look at their brush strokes. So that's pretty much all I've got. Now, as far as like how long you should draw, because I know like for some people that can scare them away. Your drawings can be 10 minutes, they can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes seems to be the max for me, at least for per drawing or per page. Well, actually, I think per page I'm doing like about an hour, which can be a long time and a little bit of a commitment. But like if you're just doing a drawing, 15-minute drawings on one page, you can fit at least like 4 different drawings on one page. So that's a lot more manageable, especially throughout the day. So like you spend 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes during lunch, 15 minutes in the evening, and then maybe stick like a quick little doodle in there. So I guess that wraps up. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. I noticed that I really love your drawings. That I think we need to say that right off the top. I think you can see my comments that these were gorgeous. A lot of them were very Dali. It's like, I'm just going to put everything in there, like the Uno cards coming down, and I just like pizza slices of life is what I wanted to name one of your drawings. But because you're on Instagram, I kind of had a thought. What I would like to see is a video of you drawing those, like, and you say, oh, hell, it might take an hour for me to draw it. But if you did it in time lapse, that hour could be something like a 30-second video. And have you ever thought of doing something like that just so people see your process?
I do have the tripod for it. I don't have the lighting figured out yet.
Okay.
That's always been my hurdle, but it's definitely something that I want to do.
Because that would be so cool.
I know.
I'm always so fascinated by process.
I know. There's people that do that for like their Facebook stories to like gain engagement and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that I want to do more of.
Cool.
But I know like some artists too, like when they're drawing, they'll actually hold the phone. And I've yet to figure that one out or to like try it out myself.
Oh, it takes one of these dopey things. I don't know if you can see it.
I cannot.
You can't? Oh, that's right. Because
did you turn off your camera?
I did turn off my camera because I didn't want to be disruptive. I'm going to turn my camera back on. Am I on? Yay!
Yes.
So it would take something like this. It's a selfie stick, but it's a gooseneck, and that way you get to just point it wherever you need it to be. And this one, it costs like $13. So it's not super expensive. It's got a clamp here that you can just clamp on the table. And then it's like so. And then this just grabs your phone. And that way you can just point it and anything.
One of those.
Yeah, I mean, $13. Come on, right?
I
I
have
know.
one of those, I don't have it with me, but I have one of those small little tripods that are easy to just like set up on a table or something like that. They
Yeah.
get super cheap.
Yeah. Kind of like that.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
smaller than that.
Yeah. Um, the other thing that this is like, if you need to write it off on taxes or something for a professional use,
Yep.
it's a document camera. It's a real cheap document camera. If you're doing a Zoom call or something, you just point your phone at it, and you can get a document camera going with that. So
I'll have to look into that.
pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
Document cameras. They have desktop document cameras right now that plug into Zoom and things like that are super good and
Hmm.
super cheap. I mean, and the lighting comes with them because it's a document camera. So not only does it have the camera, it's got the lighting. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Sweet. I will definitely look into that.
Fun stuff.
All right. Did anybody else have any questions about drawing daily or just like daily, like creative habits or something like that? So as I said, like I focus on daily drawings, but like people do daily paintings. Some people like have their own little travel watercolor kit. So that's always fun to see. The more you do this, like the more you develop a small little kit that works for you.
I do daily writing, but I think daily
Oh,
drawing would
okay.
be more fun.
Well, I would love to do like more daily writings and stuff like that, but yeah.
We have something similar in the writing community. You have Inktober, and
Yep.
we have something that's called NaNoWriMo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that like where you have to write so many words a day?
Yeah, it's the month of November, and it's 50,000 words or a novel length in 1 month. So,
Holy cow.
yeah, that comes
That's
out to,
awesome.
yeah, roughly 1,600 words a day, which
That's a lot. It seems like a lot, but I'm sure like once you get started in the writing process and stuff, it just like all comes out.
it does, but it's still a lot.
It is.
It's still a lot. And we'll do things like we'll have write-ins. We'll meet at a coffee shop, for
Mm-hmm.
example. We won't, of course, we probably won't do it this year, but just getting together with groups, and we'll do things like word wars, like, okay, here's 15 minutes. Who's going to write the most words in 15 minutes? Or we'll say, oh, it's 15 minutes and somehow somebody mentioned fire in your novel. And it could be anything, it could be lighting a candle. It could be somebody walks by and um, smoking a cigarette, or it could be you just have to figure out how to work that in some little detail.
See,
So go
and I
ahead.
feel like events like that, like little monthly challenges like that, create accountability. So like makes people want to do it for that month, and then hopefully because they're already building up that habit, they'll continue until the next few months or like for the next year. And I think that's like the vital part about these challenges is it's not about like getting the most people to look at your works or like being competitive with each other and stuff like that. It's just all about having fun, either working together or something like that, but like building up this habit for something that you enjoy doing.
Right. I find the same thing with the writing community. There will be times, of course, during the week where writing is a solitary thing. We're doing it all by ourselves. But
Yep.
if we could meet once a week or once every other and what I find that does, and it's crazy, it gives me a second wind. There have been days when I thought I can't write a single more word, I'm done.
I know.
But I go to like a write-in, and there's just something about being among people who are doing what you're doing that is just inspires you, and it's like, okay, I'm going to push on, I'm going to get my second wind.
And like, this is going to sound a little bit hippie, but it's the energy in the room that you can like feel. So like, and I think it's a true thing because when you have that positive energy or like you can feel, other people working hard on stuff, it makes you want to work hard too. So I think that helps out a lot.
I feel that really, really, really A lot. We've been doing write-ins, for example, on YouTube, where it would just be a few people sitting on a couch doing their writing in and doing the word wars, that's what we call them, or laying down a challenge of, somebody bring pottery into the scene that you're writing, just whatever it's going to be. And it just keeps you going. It just keeps you fired up. And then we take a 15-minute break and we'll go, into the chat session and just talk about what we did in the past 15 minutes. It sounds so silly, like, oh, that shouldn't work. It just sounds like another layer of complication. But it's like you said, the positive energy and that, it just fuels you to keep you motivated.
Yeah. And I feel like that's one thing that, especially now in 2020, that's what a lot of people have difficulty focusing on. And even I suffered from that this year. So yeah, it's just being able to have a few friends that you can get together with or like chat online with and like just do this one thing and then continue on with it for the next few days and stuff like that.
I've also been doing theater online. So that's been really interesting, doing that once a week, meeting with the theater group and doing improv together. So
I would love to learn more about that because I noticed
I'm doing it through the Second City right now in Chicago.
Okay.
And they're doing online classes. And the troupe that I fell into is just, I will do work like that or do comedy here in Grand Rapids, and that's really a lot of fun. But what I found was really interesting about doing it online is there are people from all over the country and Canada. So it's really diverse. So you're getting a really good mix of different kinds of people in that group, which is really, it puts a really good energy into the room.
And like with theater work, like you're working on like not only improv, but also like the emotions that you're trying to show. And I feel like with drawing, and I'm sure with writing, that translates well into writing too, because then like you know how to feel, so you can like put it into words. And like with drawing, you know how it looks like, so you can put it out visually.
Or at least I try. There's a lot of things that's like, oh, this is wonderful in my head, and then it gets to the page and not so much.
That always happens though. That's why you have to sit there and do it every day.
Right, exactly.
So that it just becomes seamless.
It's a habit. It's muscle memory. There's a lot of stuff that goes, and we all have bad days, so.
Yeah. Just as long as we have a little bit more good days. And like even with daily drawings, so some days you just have to force yourself to do it. And like even if it's not good, at least it's out there. Like it's on the page, you've got it written down or something like that. It's just out there, you got it out. Hopefully the next day it'll be a little bit better.
I had a drawing instructor who said, if the worst thing that happens to you today is you make a bad drawing, you still got to draw today?
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, I do this for fun. Right.
Yeah, not for money 100% of the time. Yeah. Yeah, I solely agree with that statement.
On the other hand, if you do a bad improv scene, give up.
Yeah.
You've ruined everything.
Oh no, people love seeing the struggle and the failure, probably more than the successes.
Yeah, because I feel like, the struggles and failures are a learning experience, so we can all learn from each other.
I love seeing like notebooks and sketchbooks of great artists, because you see the bad drawings, you go, oh, you tried to draw a face and you didn't. Thank God.
Yeah.
Except for that bastard Picasso.
Oh, I'm sure he has tons of bad drawings.
Okay.
That style.
There are a few out there who seem to be able to do it without struggling, but we just pretend they don't exist.
Yeah.
They're probably in a basement somewhere.
I like your comment, or hold your phone in your mouth.
mean, open real
I
wide.
could do that.
Phones are big these days.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a little back piece though. I
Oh,
probably
there you go.
could sanitize it.
That would really work.
Until you start to drool, I think.
Yeah.
And then even that would be interesting. You'd see the little drips on the paper. It's like, ooh, what an interesting technique. I wonder what sort of ink she's dripping.
Oh, there's a drip on the paper. I guess it's a monster. We'll just add a face in, some arms and legs.
You're the Jim Ross of internet drawing. And every mistake is just a cloud. Every little piece of drool is just a monster.